On the messaging, the midnight memes, and the potential mass layoffs. Republican Congressman Pat Harrigan from North Carolina joins me now on where lawmakers go from here. Sir, it's good to see you. You have told your staff to, quote, buckle down for a long shutdown. Why?
Hi, Kara. It's great to be with you. Look, I just don't see an off-ramp here. I think that when Democrats triggered this shutdown, they kind of bent the knee to the radical left. And the problem with that is that this is a clean CR that they've voted for 12 times during the Biden administration, one time earlier in March of this year, 13 times total. They've got to show some sort of wins for their far left side of their party. And I don't see that happening. I mean, what they're asking for is a $1.5 trillion rollback of the fraud, waste, and abuse Medicaid cuts that we made in the reconciliation package this year, in addition to $200 billion worth of healthcare spend for illegal immigrants. I mean, that's a total non-starter for us. So I don't see the end of the road here where they can actually take an off-ramp that doesn't result in a total political loss for them.
So how do you see this ending?
Not well. I think that this goes on for a long time, at least if things continue on this trajectory. That's my concern. And obviously, for those that actually care about our country, we know that there's 1.5 million federal workers on a day-to-day basis that are impacted by this shutdown. There are countless federal contractors. We are turning off federal services day by day. It's costing $15 billion worth of GDP production to the economy each and every day. So the second and third order consequences of this are incredibly wide ranging. They impact everybody in the country. And so, look, I think House Republicans, Senate Republicans, the only thing that we want is for Democrats to do what we did for them during the Biden administration, which is 12 times vote for a clean CR. This is the same respect that we've showed them over the last 4 years. We expect that respect reciprocated. If we've got policy differences, let's hammer those out through the traditional appropriations process while the government is open. Let's not shut the government down because we're throwing a temper tantrum.
But Trump says he's going to lay off thousands and thousands of federal workers. How's that showing that Republicans are on the side of these hardworking people?
Well, look, I think he might do that, but the reality is that we know that the government is overbloated. We've got too many people doing too many things that just aren't required. That being said, I think that President Trump is using this as a negotiating tactic. I also think we have to do a really good job of owning the messaging around the humanity of this. Regardless of how many people should not be working in federal service, we have to understand that the fact that they have a job with the federal government, it's not their fault. It's not their family's fault. We should not be making light of this. These are very, very serious decisions that need to be made. They have very real consequences for American people and American families, and we need to be respectful of that.
Okay, on that note of messaging, I mean, you've seen President Trump. He's clearly having some late night fun with messaging, posting various AI videos, including one of Russ Vought as the Grim Reaper. Is this really helpful during a shutdown? And doesn't it make light of the possibility that people could lose their jobs? Agencies are getting cut. I mean, this is not looking good, especially if you say you don't see an end anytime soon.
Yeah, I think there's certainly concern that that's the perception of the American people. But I will tell you practically, that has not been what has been communicated to me by my constituents. And I'd like to share with you, we get about 300 calls on a daily basis between our district office back in North Carolina and our Washington office. Those calls are down about 75% since the shutdown. And what I'm talking to my Democratic colleagues, their calls are way up. So very clearly, Democrats are being held accountable by the American people for this shutdown. And I think it's really clear to see, like, look, when you voted for something 13 times in the past and now you're just refusing to do it, it's very clearly a political play here. But my advice to all of my Republican colleagues, whether they're in the House, whether they're in the Senate, whether they work in the administration, is to still be very respectful of the situation that we have at hand, because the consequences are very wide-ranging for the American people and American families, particularly those who might be impacted by rollbacks within federal government employment, which we need to do. Look, we're running a $2.2 trillion a year deficit. We're clearly spending a lot more money than we've brought in for the last 25 years. This has got to change, but nonetheless, we need to be respectful about how that change is implemented.
Republican Congressman